Hey guys, this is Tad, your homestead provider, coming at you from the blackberry patch. See him right in there. Trying to get some blackberries before it gets hot.
Alright, we're back here in the house. Now what has happened since we picked our wild blackberries? Well, we froze them. That's because we left on vacation shortly after we picked them blackberries. Ended up going to Glacier National Park. And if you've never been to Glacier, it's amazing. I highly, highly recommend it. But anyway, anytime you don't have time to go ahead and juice your fruit, you can freeze it. It's no big deal. So we ended up with about a gallon of wild blackberries. It took forever, what it seemed like, to pick them all, and you know, froze them, and it's just as good as fresh most of the time. So we have now got a new contraction here. Now this is a steam juice extractor. It come from a recommendation from another homestead on YouTube, the Living Traditions homestead. Now I've not used this yet. I think she uses it quite a bit, and it's very interesting little thing. So you got a strainer where you put your fruit in. This is the collection place, and that's where the water goes down into. But whenever you get done with the allotted time it recommends it, you basically unclamp this and run your concentrated juice into a jug. That way you can mix it for jelly. So we're going to try that out today here in just a minute, and hopefully everything go good. Like I said, I've never used it before. It's the first time experience. We'll see how it goes. So hang out with us here for a minute.
All right, so I've got our water holding pot here about halfway filled with water. It's about halfway done there. So I'm going to set this on it. This is the collection pot, and here's the straining pot that the fruit goes in. So I'm going to go ahead and dump our fruit in here. Now I've done washed this. I washed it before I put it in the freezer. But we'll put that in there, and I'm gonna put this lid right here, and I'm gonna get this started heating up. Now it has to steam for about 30 minutes is what the recommendation is for blackberries. So since it's froze, I might do it for 35 minutes, just a little bit longer, and we're gonna go through that, and then I'll be right back when we get done. Alright guys, now this has started boiling and steaming, as you can see. So I'm going to turn the timer on for 35 minutes. Like I said, the recommendation was for 30 for blackberries, but since these are frozen, I'll do it a few extra minutes. Not gonna hurt nothing. We'll be right back. Alright, now we have got our blackberries steamed. We have quite a bit of concentrate juice right down in the bottom here, and it's been 35 minutes. So I've turned it off, pulled the top lid off, letting it cool down some. So I'm fixing to drain the juice out of here into an old glass half-gallon jug that we've had for milk in the past, and get ready to do our jelly. And what's left over from our blackberries here, I'll give to the chickens, because that'll be a nice treat for them. So let's take this clamp off. I'm gonna run it into the jar like that right there, and just let it drain. Now this is concentrate juice from the blackberries. If it's enough, great. If not, I'll add a little bit of water to make the amount we need for the recipe for the jelly. But there's probably quite a bit in here, so we'll see how much we get out of it. This was roughly a gallon ice cream bucket of juice, or blackberries that we picked. All right, now where am I at? So I've drained quite a bit of concentrate out of our steamer. I've got my lids back here warming up. I've got my jars in the oven warming up. I've got my bath water over here warming up. Now I'm fixing to cook the jelly, so we're going to measure the ingredients out. So the recipe I'm using here is for the berry recipe and quick setting jellies in this Ball Cannon magazine. So I, again, highly recommend this. So it calls for 3.5 cups of juice. So I'm going to measure 3.5 cups of juice right here and put it into our pot. So. Alright. That is very warm. Alright, so my glass jug is very hot because I just poured that steaming concentrate into it, so I had to get a little mitt here. So let's finish pouring this out. I've got one so far. There's 2. There's 3, and I need a half. About a half. So that leaves me a little bit of concentrate left, so I'll just keep that for later. Alright, now I'm going to heat that up right there. We're going to have to get it to boil. So I've got the juice in there. I'm going to stir in the pectin right here. Now this is just Sure Gel pectin right there. Get a spoon, stir up. The pectin I use is just Sure Gel. It's common. You'll have it at probably most all your stores. Definitely have it at Walmart because I just bought some more. So I'm going to stir that up a little bit, mix that in, and go ahead and mix in a couple of tablespoons of the lemon juice that I recommended. Well, there's 2 tablespoons there. Now the recipe says to stir this pretty well, quite a bit, while you're trying to get it to boil. So we're going to bring this to a boil while stirring it, and then we'll add the sugar in. Now I've already got 5 cups, I believe it's 5 cups. Yeah, 5 cups of organic sugar here measured out, so we'll just pour it in whenever it starts to boil. The recipe says to let it bring it to boil over high heat, stirring frequently, and then add the sugar. Once we get the sugar added, we'll have to bring it back to a boil and boil for 1 minute. Once the minute is up, we'll put it into the jars and then put it straight into the water bath. Alright, so our juice is now to a good rolling boil, and I'm going to add my 5 cups of sugar in here while stirring. Now I'm going to stir this in, mixing that up real good, and we're going to bring it to another boil. So once it comes to a hard boil, we'll have to boil it for 1 minute, and then we will transfer into our jars. I'm not sure if I mentioned this before, but we picked about a gallon ice cream bucket full of wild blackberries for this. So I'm gonna keep on stirring while we're waiting this to come back to a boil, and we'll be back here in just a second. Alrighty, so our jelly here has come to a full boil, so we're gonna time it for 1 minute and let it cook for 1 minute while I'm continuously stirring. So we don't eat a ton of jelly. Really, my youngest son eats the most of it. But this will give us a few pints for him to use. The last batch I made, I think I made 5 or 6, and it's lasted for a couple of years. So it'll last us a pretty good while. We don't use just a ton of jelly. Now you can do this recipe with any particular jelly you want to. This is blackberry. Our grapes didn't do too good this year, so that's just what I chose to go with this time. Same thing with the muscadine vine. It didn't do much this year, and we'll just go with that. All right, so the timer went off. I'm gonna pull that off to the back right there, and go ahead and get my jars out. Funnel, and it said to be relatively quick about doing this, so we're gonna kind of be in a hurry. Now, it's very common for jelly to have a foam on it. Now, I'm not overly concerned about a foam, neither is he. It's just kind of one of them things. If you wanted to, you could skim the foam off to make it look more presentable, I guess, but I'm not overly concerned about what it looks like. So, where's that one? Now, same thing, just like all the other Canon videos I've did, I'm gonna wipe down the lid. I've got my jar. I got all my rings over here ready. Here are my jar lids. I'm gonna center that lid right there, cinch it down, and this one I'm going to set over into the water bath and repeat. I'm gonna do this several times. Oh, sound like my jar just cracked. Let's use a different one. Now, if that jar cracks, there's a good chance it won't seal right, so I would not continue to use that. So let's just proceed. You want to bring the jelly up to just below the surface, just like anything else you'd be canning. Just below the surface right there. Like it ring. There's that. I'm gonna pour the rest of it in this pint right here. I'm just gonna fill it a little bit more than Alright, so I had to grab me a half pint jar because that's about what's left in that one, and we'll fill it up and wipe down this lid here. Get us a jar lid, put it on right there, cinch it down. Whew, that's very hot, so be careful. Shut that off in here. I'm gonna dip this in my water a little bit, warm it up as hot as it is, because I hadn't had time to warm, and I don't want this one cracking too. So let's put this one here. My half pint's gonna dump it right in here, and it's gonna be right full. So same thing, we're gonna wipe it off. Grab a lid and the ring. And then go down too good. There we go. Alright, now I've got all these sitting in here. We are going to water bath them in our pressure cannon pot here, and it'll have to water bath for 10 minutes once it starts boiling, and it's just before doing that, so we'll be right back after that gets done. Alrighty, so our 10 minutes are up, so I'm gonna set these out of the water bath right here to the side and let them start cooling. Alrighty, we'll be back here in just a second, show you the final product. Alright, now I was able to get 3 pints and a half pint of our wild blackberry jelly. Turned out real good. What I was talking about, the foam, see this one here has a layer of foam right there. Now my 8-year-old does not care about the foam, but if you was putting this in a fair contest or something like that, you'd need it to be a little bit better. This one right here has nothing. So that right there is a good jar of jelly. They all gelled up real good. Of course, I got some. Now I got a little bit of concentrate left, so if we wanted to make a little bit more, we could. So I've got it in the refrigerator right now. It'll stay for a week or so. But turned out good. I really like the steam juice extractor. It worked out great. I'll put the link down to that in the description. But that is it. That's making wild blackberry jelly. If you like our videos, if you like what we're doing, like this video, subscribe to the channel. That lets us know that you're enjoying our content. But this is Tad, your homestead provider. God bless.